Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, I am going to show you a preparation against the London, how to absolutely beat it, surprise the opponent, and get a nice position. First, I am going to show you some lines and then a model game against a 2000 FIDE rated. So it was a great player and didn't manage. I got a crashing position in the opening. Then I lost the game because I didn't convert the advantage, but it was a really good position. And I think that if I had played a bit more accurate, I would have won that game. But that's my level. Of course, if you're higher rated than me, this opening is absolutely fine. It's even greater for higher rated players because they will understand the plans even better than me. And for lower rated players, it's even, I don't know if it's greater than for higher rated or the same because you will surprise the opponent, get a nice position, and most of it you will learn how to play these structures and complex positions, and it's gonna be really fun to play these games and to beat the London players. Mhm. So now our prerequisite for this is that you against d4 you have to play knight f6. Mostly, if you know that they play the London, if d4 knight f6. They mostly play bishop f4, the London players. And you play c5. d5 is the engine move. Yeah, there are a lot of moves like e3. E3, you can get a good position with a lot of moves. I have a lot of lines. I looked at a lot of lines. Probably when I make the video, I publish it. I will in the description put a link into the studio to let you analyze the things and with some annotations, and I will delete the wrong or careless analysis. You can just take and you will get a really nice position with takes. And as you see, just equal. That's normally the London, but here you're not in a complex position. Like you're just absolutely fine. Like takes. Well, queen takes is a move, but absolutely it's not a move. Takes, and now you can play queen b6, and they have to just give you the pawn. And it's similar to this line. Uh, yeah, it's similar to this line, but in this line they get a lot of counterplay. In the other line, they don't get nearly as much. In this line, they don't get as much counterplay. And the novelty of this is not this idea with c5, is this, is b5. If they play e3 or c3, you will have to transpose into these queen b6 lines and get into the mat. But if they play a d5, that's normally the natural option, you will be able to play b5 and completely surprise them. There's a lot of lines against this. I'm going to delete the queen b6 line. It's not a line of ours. It's just a line I looked at to see if I liked it. I didn't. It's really difficult to play it, but with our line, it's way easier. And now there are some moves. There are a lot of lines. F3, E4, knight F3, C3, C4. C4 is the fifth engine move, and it's funny that in the model game they played against me C4 because they didn't know any theory in this line. It's normal. It's a huge surprise for most players. It's not a normal opening. If first I am going to start with, I think, a mix of engine moves and human, because e4, you sacrifice a pawn, but you get the counterplay. That's kind of engine, but at the same point, there's ideas of getting back the b5 pawn. I think e4 it's a move a good player can find with a good thing. I don't know, in 5, 10 minutes. I think e4 calculated, decided. I am talking about classical. In Blitz, it's even more annoying. They are surprised. But of course, in Blitz, the opening, it's important in high levels, but it's not mm, nearly as much as is in classical. So I'm going to first show you e4 that sacrifices a pawn, and then you can see that bishop takes pawn. That could be a move, easy move. Just loses a bishop. I don't think anyone is going to fall for this. It's a nice idea, yeah, but it's completely crazy to just think that this is fine. No one is going to blunder queen a5, queen takes bishop. So they will probably, if they see for, it's kind of engine though, but okay. I'm going to look at it anyway because you could face a prepared opponent. Queen f3, always counting. Black always counts in this check. To rely in this check. If you want to surprise more even, you can play f5 or something like that, but it's kind of bad. So the best move and the move that I recommend is Queen a5. And here, if they don't play King d2, look at the engine evaluation. They are clearly worse, mostly because they are just down a pawn. They gave a pawn and they didn't get enough to pay for it. So, of course, they have to play in tier 92 and then they get the counterplay, but I still think it's not good enough because now they have to find a4. It's really complicated, this line. It's a4 and the open lines. You can even play b4. B4, I think it's the most annoying move for them. Okay. And then you just open like this, you play g6 or d6. I like playing g6 to get a bishop in g7, but okay, that's absolutely fine to play other moves. My recommendation is, of course, g6. You can play bishop a6, but I don't like it. I just don't like it. You are offering a trade and kind of getting rid of his bishop, but okay, it's a nice idea, but I prefer g6. Then h4, then h6, and then after rook e1, bishop g7 is fine, d6, and knight c6. There are some other moves, but they're kind of nice. Here I play queen takes c6 with a practical approach, trying to trade the queens. It's not a engine approach, but I think no one is going to trade the queens in here. And if they don't trade queens, they are clearly worse. And if they trade the queens, they're just a pawn down. They have to beat you from that position. That's just the idea. If they beat you being up and down, that's just not and it's not the opening's fault. It's yourself. So I think it's absolutely fine to just trade the queens here. That's my recommendation for the e4 line. Of course. But here I'm going to show you some other lines with f3, for example. B4 here, like exactly as I showed you, and instead of e4, f3. And here we have g6. As I said, I like playing these fianchetto lines, like it's nice. Yeah, and just get this, like you can play the check, you can even play d6. It's not good because you are giving up the pawn, but it's not that bad. Like you would expect this to be way worse, and it's fine. You're giving up the counterplay. You can block as you like. I play sometimes this with a friend that plays the London to trick him a bit and just getting him into an equal position. But I have to be Keto. I have to, and it's a nice game. But of course, if I'm in a serious game, as I said, Queen a5 is the way to go. Like d6 is a nice idea, if you want to get mostly an attack, an open game, not a more of defensive game or a close position, if you like attacking positions, even if they are kind of worse, d6, the line I showed, it's nice. But of course, I play queen a5. I like open positions, but I'm not going to give up the material just to get one. It's a thing I like doing sometimes, but in important games, I don't do it. And here, there are two moves. Like, of course, queen d2 is engine. Knight c3 is clearly worse because of b4. Everyone knows that. You just get the space, and even I think anyone can see that this is better. You're, you're in a fine position. You don't have a pawn, yeah, but you have a great close position. You have a great structure. You expanded yourself. It's absolutely fine. Now, d6, castles, bishop b7, that's kind of the ideas. That's a nice idea. I think it's the way to go. Like castles, d6, bishop b7, that's just my recommendation. First d6, knight d2, I said castles. And actually, if they play bishop e2, you can play bishop b7. Now it's not engine, I don't know why. I suppose because you just uh, are blocked because of the chain of pawns. So first you want to play six, break that chain of pawns, that chain, and then bishop b7. Now I think this is enough. Like if you prepare until move 10 with an opening surprise, I think it's more than enough. If it's a normal line where both sides know a lot of theory, you would want to prepare until move 15 or something like that with knowing every line. But if you surprise the opponent, I don't think it's you need that much. Well, if you want to absolutely crush him by opening moves, but of course you will need to study a lot. If you want to, you tell me in the comments. I will send you instantly the study link, and you can shoot yourself and study these lines. Now that we have seen the f3 line, we can look at another ones. b5, and we have knight c3, and another annoying move. Knight c3, knight f3, c c4. It's a game we're going to a line we're going to see just with the model game. We're not gonna look at that with a lot of extension. Okay, we're going to see first e3 and then the other ones because e3 is quick to see. You just have to play normal. Like here, you play a check. If they block, I assume c3 is fine, knight d2 is fine, everything is fine. But black is better, and you got a nice position. d6, just take it, and then you attack him. If he trades, just take with the king, and even if you cannot castle, you have a lot of activity. You have knight, queen, bishop, and the knight is going to go out quickly. Four pieces, nearly out. You have three pieces out and nearly four because the knight is going to go out quickly and then the rook, and you have a nice position. Even if you cannot castle, you're not in trouble. You're in a great position. And that's just simple actually. Like she just plays a normal moves like I don't know. You play a check, they block, you play bishop b7. They play d6 and just straight and get into this really good position with queen b6. They take with the king. With the rook, it would be a mistake because then you will be with the king in the center all the game. That's not pleasant. So, could you take with the king? Great position. Now, are going to the d3 line. Then we look at the knight c3 and the knight f3, and then we go to the model game. g3. Just react with the same moves. Like, I don't think anyone is going to play g3 because it looks just that's the reason I don't have great analysis against it. I looked at it not in this study. I looked at it in an analysis table uh, quickly with my mobile phone, so I kind of remember this. My memory is not great, so I'm going to leave the engine on for this. G6. Mm, A4. Yeah, A4 is a move for sure. That looks. But again, every move that tries to threaten this pawn, normally just counter with B4, and you're in a really good position. Okay, but if they don't play F4, if you play G3, you're not thinking about playing A4. You're thinking about playing Bishop G3, and Black will have a Fianchetto. The dart squared bishop of white is going to be terrible. So black has to be better. The engine says so. I don't think anyone is going to play this unless it's a blitz game. But this preparation is mostly for classical. I showed some lines for blitz and things like that, or for aggressive players. But this is not aggressive. Neither is good. So it's a quick it's a quick way to play. So for blitz, I assume it's fine, but the preparation is for classical, so I won't go in deep against these lines. I wanted to show them because they are interesting, nothing more than that. Okay, knight f3. Again, these ideas are going to be of a lot of uh, usefulness. I think it's just really useful. This check we have because if they go knight c3, I again think b4 is a good move. Bishop b7. I think b4 it's the way to go. But the engine says that bishop b7. I assume at some point in these lines, unless they stop it, b4 is going to be played. As I said, d6, knight d2, and then you play b4. It's in the second engine line. It says that. So normally you play b4, and as I said, a lot of players are going to see this. They are not going to block with knight c3. They are going to play c3, and you will get the bishop in b7, threaten the d4 pawn, d5 pawn. They will play e4, something like that. I don't think anyone wants to sacrifice a pawn. Like imagine if London players should be used to sacrificing pawns because there are lines when they have to just give up pawns. So e4 could be a move. You have to give it. Then knight d2, and there's just not a pawn. So the engine says is fine for white. In practical terms, I think black should will have a great win rate. And probably we could look at that. I will probably put that in the comments or in the description, the win rate of the players. And now the last line until the model game, I think had to be b5 and knight f3 or knight c3. We looked at. I don't actually remember. Oh yeah, it was knight f3, which we looked at because we played the check. So now we're going to look at knight c3. But as I said, if they put a knight in c3, just play b4. You get it out, and you're clearly better because again, you have these beautiful ideas. You're actually now threatening some tricks. Well, I don't think they work because you can just go back. So again, as I said, you just have to play b3 or c4. They have to play, and you will play natural move like d6, bishop b7. I'm just going to show it to you. No a3. You can even ignore. You could play knight a6. Now you have to defend because they're attacking, but normally you could play bishop b7. Bishop b7 should be fine though, but it's bad because, as I said, if they're attacking you, you have to react. So you can play knight a6, f3. Now bishop b7 will be really bad because they will play e4. You have to always look. If they play f3, normally bishop b7 won't be good because they will have this. this counter move. So, and okay, that's a good concept. I wanted to live there. And knight d7, things like this. You just have to develop quickly. Actually, here they made a mistake. You have to actually exploit that. Sorry. I just I just saw minus 0.5. I didn't thought it was that much, but it's a big deal actually. Now I see it. 94 and you get a lot of space. You're threatening to take the a3 pawn and just win the game. You have to take now, you take back and you're clearly better. I didn't thought it was such a big deal, but yeah, you're just clearly better with a5 or knight a6. Both are completely good. I would never think about knight d7, but knight a6 and n5 would be absolutely my move. Probably knight a6 would be my move if I wasn't looking at the engine. Now that the engine has called me a5, I'm in love with a5. That's a really good move. So I'm going to leave this line there. It's a it's a huge mistake, knight c3. No one is going to play knight c3 because it's just not a good move. Now I'm going to the model game. When they played, actually, even not a worse move, but a more surprising move. Yeah, we just in the normal lines, and this was my moves. I'm going to enable the engine, as I said, to analyze the games. This game I played it a long time ago. I know the engine moves, but okay. B5, and my opponent plays C4. At that moment, I wasn't in a great preparation because I hadn't studied this line a lot. I knew it, I had prepared, but I knew mostly the three first lines. This C4 line wasn't a move I had looked much, so I just didn't knew it. I just played bishop b7. B4, as I know now, was a great move to just gain space. I knew it in the game. I was thinking b4 or bishop b7. I decided at last bishop b7. Now, as you can see, they play knight c3. Obviously, it's not a really huge mistake, but I just played before. What has he done? But he got saying queen b3. It's a nice move, of course, but now I'm clearly better. I knew it in the game, and with the engine saying so now, but I cannot take. If I take, I'm not better. So I just thought, well, I'm just going to develop. F3, F3 is a move that it's a really good concept here to just make the bishop really bad. So I just prepared some moves with pawn takes knight. Of course, now I can play pawn takes knight because pawn takes knight, queen takes bishop, rook b8, I'm completely winning. So, he played knight d1, I'm playing g6, just developing. And here, look at the position. Knight b6 was my first mistake. But look at this position. And look what the ending has to say. Minus 0.6. And it was a 2000. I surprised him. I got him in a new position for him, and I got a nice position. And he had wasted, I think, it wasn't like, well, he played quickly because even if he was surprised, no, no, no. He thought for a really long time, and then he just played c4, so I got a 30 minutes time advantage and a great position. At last, I lost because I played, for example, this knight b6 was absolutely necessary. My first idea, my first instinct was a5. It was the move. But I just wanted to build the pressure myself with knight b6, a5, a4. But now I give this move. I still play the same. And here I made a mistake with taking with the a pawn. I thought taking the a pawn was better, but building this kind of structure was really great. Now, as you can see, I just take it, took, and then I traded queens. That's a huge mistake because I was better because of my good pieces and everything. Now, I just thought the A file was valuable. It wasn't, as you're going to see. I made some inaccuracy and then I was just worse. Because what's Rook A2? I don't know. I was in time pressure then. Then I was still trying and playing fine moves. But here I'm clearly worse. But he made a mistake taking, like, I thought it was a fine move and he was better. But, well, in this position, because I was in time travel, I couldn't calculate, so I just assumed here it was worse, but it was not lost. The engine +2, it's not lost, but it's kind of a huge advantage. But he made a mistake. I just knew that here I could play King G8 or Bishop G7. I thought Bishop G7 was better. King G8 now the engine says that it's the same idea. It's just that the discovered attack is nothing. Like, and here I just played King E8 because I had low time. I was going to lose by it. And then I just made a huge mistake with knight takes d5. It was a really nice idea. Because of pawn takes, I take. Look, I just thought, while I'm pressuring the b3 pawn. I'm going to try to win it. And if I get into that endgame, this is completely drawn. But I just missed rook g5 and I just lost the game. Because now it was two pieces for 3 pawns. If it was in the other way, with one piece for 3 pawns, I couldn't lose that position and I was going to try to push it. Okay. I just completely lost. And here I just blundered my rook. As I said, time pressure and well, the disappointment in myself for having lost that. It was huge, so I just blundered this. And well, as you can see, this C4 line, they can make a lot of mistakes because they don't know it with this c5, this b5, they don't know it. They can play this move like c4. It looks natural, but you get the space. As I said before, would have been a greatest move, but bishop b7 was fine. And here I just got a great position because you just surprise them, get them off their normal openings, and if you have great calculation and a lot of experience, this is you can beat higher rated opponents if you get a good position out of the opening. So even if you are not really experienced, if you're good, you have confidence, you can beat higher rated opponents. This was not the case. I was nervous because I thought I overestimated my position in the opening. I thought it was more than minus 0.6. I thought it was minus 1. So I got even more nervous. Okay. So this is where I'm going to leave the video. Bye. If anyone wants to see more of these lines, make a comment in the video and I'm going to send you the studio in which I will have deleted the wrong lines and made it perfect to study for myself and for you.